Well, I hope you guys are all having a great Christmas break. I know I certainly am, and I'm just admiring the view behind me. It's one of those stunning places. That's my city down below, Grenoble, in the southeast of France, bordering the French Alps. So, you know what? I can't complain. This is a spot I always come to in my evening walks to go and just chill out and enjoy nature and the scenery of a city down below and mountains all around me. So, look, I think this whole OT, IT thing is a false dichotomy. And we're making a big deal about something which, to be honest, that's not where you need to be making a big deal. Last weekend, I was up in the Paris region visiting someone who is donating an old Hewlett-Packard 250 series mini computer to our Computer Conservation Society, Acronit. And this machine has a very interesting bit of history where it comes from and how it was used as part of the very first wave of computerization of manufacturing. And it's quite telling because when we were visiting the person and taking a look in the basement at this ancient machine and going through some old files, documentation that was lying around from a couple of different French industries that the person's father had worked for. One thing that I came across that was absolutely fascinating, and I'm going to scan a few documents from this file and share them with you because it is a fascinating insight into the early days of computerization in manufacturing, the days before we had process control, automation, and even ERP systems, where, again, the people who were tasked with figuring this out were neither IT nor OT. They were just technologists. There were people who were interested in applying new technology into solving business problems. And that is why OT and IT being these two factions is a false dichotomy. It's not one or the other. It's actually both and neither. And I'm going to say this as bluntly and as diplomatically as possible. Let's stop trying to drive a wedge between these two worlds, trying to claim which one is right, which one is wrong. Okay, both are wrong, both are right. Let's just figure out where we need to be taking our industry forward into the future. So I'm thinking about 2030 and beyond. What does 5 years from now look like when we are going to be having a mix of highly advanced technology, whether this is what comes after large language models and very advanced computing, where we will have the ability to augment our intellect, our memory, and leverage very abundant storage and very abundant models that can allow us to contextualize data, information, and use that to amplify knowledge and, again, allow us to build better wisdom over our experience. So all of those things are, I think, important, but then we've got to come back to the basics, which is that you have machines, we have electricity, we have utilities, water, we have hydraulics, we have gas, we have nitrogen, we have oxygen, we have all of these things that are used as part of a manufacturing process. And they require good physical maintenance, good physical design, great engineering. And without good engineering and good maintenance practices, we're all going to be screwed, okay? So you can't just somehow digitalize everything and walk away and forget about it and think, hey, job done, we're good, okay? It doesn't work like that. There are other things that need to be taken care of that are still important and will still be important 20, 30, 50 years from now. Whether it's plumbing, whether it's being an electrician, whether it's being a mechanical engineer or a mechanical technician, those things are all still relevant. And I think we've done a pretty poor job of dealing with understanding of the abstractions. We've become very abstracted, particularly in information processing and everything to do with information technology. But at the same time, if we look at the OT world and process automation, factory automation, and utility automation, we're also relying on some abstractions that have removed our ability to easily understand what lies under the hood. So if you want to know about what is under the hood, you have to unpack that box and again, open up the layers. It's like a Matryoshka doll where you have a big doll and then you open it up and you have a smaller doll inside and so on until you get to this tiny little baby doll. Getting into that kernel of the fundamentals and looking at the layers that are wrapped around it to figure out how these moving parts fit together, that's crucial. And again, this is where some of the advanced tools that we have, whether you want to call them artificial intelligence or large language models or advanced computing, all of those things, right, allow us to get to unpack those abstraction layers faster. And there's a danger there, right? There's a danger in that if you are inexperienced, if you are lacking some of the real world nuts and bolts experience, whether it's on the factory floor or in the field, it's going to not land very well. It's going to go whoosh over the head and you won't actually really get to benefit from that unpacking exercise. So you will always need to have a combination of this advanced technology on one side and great human advice and mentorship and advisory on the other, right? Again, dealing with the wisdom of elders and the super high fidelity memory that is now inside modern information systems and large language models. So just in the same way that over time we gain mastery over a discipline and we become wise, we also lose some of the fidelity, okay, as we move from being knowledgeable into being wise. We lose some of that fidelity. And so I think, and this has been very profound in my practice this year, and especially in 2025, is being able to bring things that, again, without being arrogant here, I would consider to be wisdom acquired over a 35-year career, that I can link the wisdom that is up here with high fidelity knowledge and information that is stored in some big nebulous LLM out there. And the ability to apply wisdom, direct it, and leverage the knowledge and the information together to produce new insight, and constructing a feedback loop that brings me a benefit where I can now see what before is very hard for others to see. That is pretty damn powerful. But look, coming back to the false dichotomy of OT versus IT, okay, we've gone really off track, particularly with enterprise IT, with a lot of the reliance on platforms and big offers that are out there that, again, are highly abstracted, okay, without understanding what's under the hood and simply abdicating responsibility, throwing it out and saying, hey, look, don't worry, those guys know better than we do. And maybe they do, okay, but I'm saying this with kindness, is that no one else should know your business better than you know it yourself. So you should go back to understanding your business and how you will take technology and apply it in the right way in order for your business to be sustained, to be relevant, and to continue over the next generations, okay? Or that if your business is requiring some deep, radical transformation in order for it to become something very different to what it was before, that's okay. But that's part of the continuity process. It's part of the process that we see in the natural world where the seasons change. So, hey, it's all good on my side.